another edition of the Houston Texans Roundtable. I am one part of your show, Ruben Calvillo, 713 Houston Sportcast on YouTube, joined by two handsome gentlemen. One of them, Harley, at the lead underscore Houston. What's going on, Papa?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Trying to feel better.
And then the man next to him, Mr. Houston Stressens Texans commenter. What's going on, OG?
Oh, not a lot, man. I'm just realizing I got some pretty slick hats on, man. I got that the hat game on point today.
Hey, we try to keep it good. I'm just glad you're not beefing with anyone at the moment right now. The past couple of days on the timeline has been pretty fun if you're a
Sometimes you gotta
Houston
stand up for
fan.
yourself, you know?
That's crazy.
One way of putting it.
That's yeah. But gentlemen, let's jump into it. The Houston Texans, they get embarrassed by the Tennessee Titans 32-27. There is no other way to put it. They walked into your trap and they took over your trap, man. Will Levis was just bombing all over you. Tony Pollard, you just could not wrap him up to save your life. And then you saw CJ Stroud just throw two ugly interceptions. It was an ugly day. Harley, your first overall thoughts on the L?
They look like shit. Team looks like shit. They played like shit.
Mm.
And if you look like shit, play like shit, smell like shit, I don't know. You might be shit.
I'm kind
It's
of confused,
unfortunate.
Harley, because
What's
D'Amico Ryan said there's a narrative about this team that they're not good.
on? Wow. I mean, wow. What is it? Hindsight 2020. Finally. I mean, yeah. No. It's a correct narrative. The team isn't good. It isn't. If they rely too much on the defense, they rely too much on a run game. We hyped up this offense to be something way more than that. We didn't. I wasn't expecting us to be super dependent on Joe Mixon. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, it's great to have him, and we're gonna have a run game for C.J. Stroud. Yes, to make his life easier, but I thought, oh, okay, C.J. Stroud, this offensive line, the weapons you grab, you're gonna have yourself at the very least a top 15 offense. But hell, in my videos, I was talking about a pairing of a top 10 offense
Mm-hmm.
with top 10 defense. I thought that's exactly what was going to happen. It just hasn't been anything close to that offensively. That blame is towards the offensive line, miscommunication, lack of awareness, everything, just execution, as they say. There isn't no execution. Coaching has to go down there too. Chris Strausser, Bobby Slowick, play calling, the time of play calls, play call timing. I'm not even going to get into that.
Big 50-yard bomb to Nico Collins, and then they'll run to Joe Mixon for negative 3 yards.
mean, you continue to aim the gun at your foot. I've said this many weeks. Until the Houston Texans stop, just all they got to do is put the gun on safety. That's all they got to do. They keep it aiming at the foot, but put it on safety, and you'll be doing fine for the future weeks, man. I hate that we've negated big plays for Nico Collins. I really do.
It's back-to-back week stressing where a big Nico Collins play is negated by a penalty. Your thoughts on the L, man? I know Hannah McNair. I know she's feeling some type of way right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, it sucks. There's no way to get around it. I mean, it is typical for me though. Like, just like the Lions lost, like in the moment, it's like the worst thing in the world. A couple nights sleep. It's still not great, but it's better. But yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, people were saying trap game leading into it. I wasn't buying it. I was like, oh, nah, they're terrible. We'll roll them, no problem. But, it did seem like that was the case. We came off, they had the rest advantage. We came off Monday night. And so we had a short week, all disjointed. And it's apparent that our guys just kind of slept walk through practice because they came out unfocused, unprepared. And that falls on the head coach. I mean, at the end of the day, he can say he did this and that, but what you see
Mm-hmm.
in the field is what you get. So it was evident they were not ready, that they thought they could go out there and just beat this team. And this isn't, and I'll say stuff too that's not like loser talk, but like, again, remind yourselves this is the NFL. Yes, the Titans were 2-8, but are they as bad as that record? We don't know. I guess we'll know by the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, if you listen to D'Amico talk in his interviews, I mean, really, it came down to just like every time we lose, it's really about us beating ourselves, honestly. with mistakes, the execution that we've been waiting on for forever. But yeah, very disheartening. I mean, it changed the mood. Like if you win that game, things are riding high. Now you lose, and now it's like shit. Like we may not make playoffs. Is kind of the vibe that most fans are getting. But I'm optimistic going forward. But man, that one sucked for sure.
No, it definitely did. And before we get into it, boys, this episode brought to you and powered BetUS, giving you a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Promo code YouTube 150, guys, and on your second and third deposit, it's a 125% bonus. Harley, I wanted to show you the odds here. BetUS currently has the Houston Texans as 4-point favorites. Now, obviously, I think that is because we are hearing news of Trevor Lawrence practicing. He might be ready to go on Sunday. I don't understand why they would do that, but your thoughts on the Houston Texans, 4-point favorites right now.
I mean, I'm never going to bet against my Houston Texans. I mean, I'll talk shit about them. I'll talk shit about them all day and every damn time to this camera, and I'm waiting for this camera to slap me back upside the head. But man, it's I'm never going to bet against them, man. I never will. I'm just, when it comes to it, man, I'm a passionate fan. At the end of the day, a lot of it is I try not to be biased as much as I can. But at the end of the day, man, I'm a fan. I'm one of the most
Yeah.
passionate guys on here on YouTube that everyone can find, and so I try to, keep it even keel as much as I can. But when it comes to predictions, I might talk shit about the Texans the whole week. But at that prediction, you best believe I'm predicting the goddamn W.
No, absolutely. It's just Stressens, when you see that the line was at 5 yesterday and that now it's at 4, maybe Vegas thinks something's potentially coming. Why are you laughing, Harley?
That comment, bro.
So for
The
the
cartel
people that
thing.
don't know,
That's
right?
hilarious.
Please don't let the cartel take you guys. No, no, no. We have done nothing wrong. Shout out to them. They are doing a fantastic job, whatever the hell they're doing.
Good job.
Salute to you guys, right? Um,
I ain't
there
even gonna
was
speak Spanish. I don't want to
yeah, right.
upset them, man.
¿Qué pasó?
Oh, watch out, watch out,
Well,
watch out, man.
it's
Watch
good to say,
out.
si, senor. But this lady calls, I believe it was Sports Radio 610, blames Kaimi Fairbairn and the Houston Texans for throwing these games intentionally missing kicks, and then how our quarterback CJ Stroud is wanted by our friends across the border. They had to cut her off, man. Absolutely uh insane, man. I think AD's talking about himself, and like Panda said, yeah, absolutely, we want no smoke,
What
no
up,
smoke at
AD?
all. But just this is what a loss does to you. There were other videos of fans who were at the game at the tailgate throwing their flat screen TV directly into the trash. Look, this game meant a lot to both franchises. The amount of trash talk that we have
Yeah.
spewed over the past off season. I myself had to eat crow and go on a Tennessee Titans 1 hour long podcast and
Mm,
hear them talk all their smack about my
mm.
team. AD was a victim with me as well, but here we are, and it felt like the sky was falling on Sunday. And when you look on the schedule, you see that there's still 5 games left and a bye week. So we cannot keep our heads down. Stressings up. When I ask you this, is there any way the Houston Texan offense can be saved? And I'm looking at one potential option and something that we've been asking for, a potential change at play caller. What are we going to do with quarterback coach Gerard Johnson? If we think he could potentially be the OC next year, why not get a head start? To me, I feel like that's the only thing that could save this unit right now.
I mean, as y'all know, like I've always been like a defender of Slowick, and like that slowly started to erode in the last 3 or 4 weeks for me. But I do think that they will not fire him this year. And like, I hate to say this, but they may not even fire him next year, just knowing the way that they've handled things. I think that they would do it under the guise of he still needs time to implement a system. But we'll talk about that later. But as far as now, I mean, I don't know if a change would help or not. Like, I want it at times. Like, I'm back and forth on whether I want it to be done or not personally. It's just, you get so frustrated watching these games with all the same stupid mistakes And whether you want to blame play calling or not, like I think the play calling isn't perfect, but I'm not as harping on it as much as others. Like my biggest thing is like we talked about the freaking execution, the day one stuff, these mindless pre-snap penalties and miscues that are still happening 12 weeks in. Well, if they're still happening at this point, my biggest thing is like, all right, well, who's the captain of the offense? Like, who's the one that's supposed to be,
Mhm.
holding them responsible? And then AD. Yeah, I'm not really defending Bobby nor on the other side either, but
Tomato,
I
tomato.
mean the only hope for us is the O line, really. I mean, I know CJ's under a lot of fire. He's not playing as great, but I think it trickles down from the O line and the play calling. But one, I don't think they'll make a change, and two, I don't know for sure if it'll do anything. But if it does continue to be bad, it's something like as fans, it's similar to the O line. Like if the O line sucks and the play calling sucks, make a change to both. At the very least, you show you're trying. And what's the worst that could happen? It'll get worse. It's already freaking
Mhm.
worse, So
And I think that's the main thing, Harley, just for me is seeing this Houston Texans team make a change. Let's say they do go to Gerard Johnson. Could the offense still be asked in the second half? Absolutely. That's most likely what will happen. But it's the fact that you made a change, and we see changes benefit this team before. Jared Patterson comes in, touchdown drive. Kendrick Green starts 98 drive against the Jets. It's the first time in a long time that you did that. I think for me, man, the fact that you have a young quarterback, I'm tired of seeing him compared to that old man in the CJ Stroud jersey. I'm not sure that is hilarious. Like, I know we're making fun of our boy, but I'm tired of seeing him like that, man. We need to see CJ Stroud out there balling. Harley, I think we talked about it pre episode, but your thoughts on if the Houston Texans should go to Gerard Johnson?
I'm done. Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. You can't just sit on your hands and not do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this offense has been inept for I'll say since week 2 against the Chicago Bears. Like that's how bad it's been. I mean, when you only put up 19 points against the Bears, and a lot of people, yeah, their defense is solid. The defensive line was creating havoc. It was more because the offensive line was ass, and we just didn't realize it then. Like it's been that bad. It has been horrible to watch the inadequacies of this offense over and over and over. It's coming to a point where it's just numbing. Like it's just like I kind of expect the Texans to do their thing. Like I hope they squeeze as much as they can out of the lemon, and
Mm-hmm.
that lemon's title is the first half. Squeeze as much as you can out of it. If
Put
you
up
could drop
30.
40 in the first half, drop 40 because nobody knows what the fuck is going to happen in the second half. Like nobody knows. Like it is just
oh, we
second
know
half
nothing.
untitled. Like you don't know what's about to happen. You don't know if it's going to be a scary movie, thriller, jump scare, and it was all of the above in the Tennessee Titans game. That was from the get go. Actually, this offense, yeah, I need to see a change, man. I'm done with this. Bobby, look, sorry. Hey, it is what it is. I know I kind of have the same feeling as Stressens. I don't think the Texans are going to move away from him because his crutch is that, well, my offensive line's not good. And
Yeah.
CJ hasn't been playing good either. And I can't, my plays can't form if the offensive line ain't doing their job. Yeah, but Bobby, your plays are 7-step dropbacks. Yeah, but the offensive line's not doing their job.
I will
Like,
I will say this too. Sorry, I'll let you finish, Harley. I thought you were
no,
done.
no, my mic
I will
lost
say
me off
so.
my
The
train
Jaguars
thought there.
defense is like their EPA per dropback, like they're like the worst in the league. So they're one of the worst defenses in the league. So I will say this: if we lose this game and the offense underperforms in that loss, then there's absolutely no
Dude, if you
excuse.
lose this game, someone needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Like the sky is falling. Like
Yes.
I will be looking at every single body in that locker room, in
Facts.
that front office. Someone needs to get fired if you lose to Mac Jones, who I don't think they've scored a touchdown, let alone in the second half, the entire game, I believe, in the past four. You could still win this game without scoring in the second
Well,
half, like Harley said.
T Law or Mac Jones, like if you lose and you lose in a fashion where the offense does the same shit they've done all year, then it's like, all right, bro, like this is the worst defense and you still can't do anything. Like, all right, now it's like there's nothing left, bro.
No, nothing laughing. It's just It's sad that we here are sitting down and know what's going to happen, what's going to potentially happen is a second half collapse from this offense. And then it's like stressing. This is where we see some of the fans just upset with D'Amico Ryans. Why are you not acknowledging the problem? We've seen you, have a sense of urgency on the defense, but when it comes to the offense, it feels like you're just letting Bombi Slowick do whatever the hell you want to do. The defense is my department.
Yeah, I mean, what blows my mind on this too is like he's a young new head coach, and when you come in, and Steven Nelson actually reiterated this to me, and this is something we've all
Shout out
known.
to
But
Steven Nelson.
yeah, shout out Steven and AD and H Town Rundown. That all 22 was awesome, man. But he made a good point too, because I asked him about if we were to fire Slowick this year, next year, whenever, would we go with a coordinator with a different scheme? And it sounds like no. I mean, because he's kind of married to that scheme because it's what he knows. Being in that San Francisco system, that's all he knows. And when it comes to hiring coaches, you just hire who's around you. That's why he got slow. He's like, hey, you were with me. What's up? Come on. Like, oh, you, okay, I know you.
Mhm.
It's not like they
That
have this
happens.
big, expansive, Rolodex of people that he knows and trusts. So that's a big part of it too. So that's a concern for me if and when, if it gets if it's the way it is, if Slowick's gone. Like the big thing for me right now with the whole offense is, in my opinion, nothing about our offense from any position marries the personnel wise to this scheme. Like everything we do should be a totally different scheme. The O line is probably like evidently the number one part of that. Like we got guys that are like big and slow, and we're trying to get them to be, agile and zone and do all this, super
Mhm,
intelligent blocking schemes. Like rather than to say, hey, block the freaking man in front of you, which they could probably do just fine. We refuse to do that and all this cute fancy stuff. I mean, quarterback wise, CJ is much better in a gun type offense, spread them out, air it out type deal. I mean, that's how he was at Ohio State.
mhm.
We refuse to do that. Like the protection scheme's terrible. Like the run, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
And Harley, let me ask you a question. If they continue this, if we keep on seeing, the second half woes, because they're only going to get amplified when you go against the Kansas City Chiefs and you are on Christmas Day against the Baltimore Ravens, you're talking about getting embarrassed against Tennessee. We've called this murderer's row, 3 games against 2 MVPs, one of them winning the Super Bowl in 10 days. There's still a lot of football left. And if we see the same thing, man, I feel like the fans are just gonna keep on just, like we've seen some fire D'Amico, chants over the airways, bro. If you keep this up and you start getting embarrassed on national TV again with the upcoming games, man, those are only gonna get louder. I don't agree with them, but it's crazy that we're even starting to see those.
It's only year two of D'Amico Ryans. Look, I understand we're frustrated. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
The expectations were higher this year, and the Texans thought that the expectations were also higher. Due that was evident to how they constructed their roster this offseason. They went on and got Joe Mixon and traded for Stephon Diggs. You're adding pieces to what is ultimately a deep playoff run puzzle, and the Texans at this point, at this very moment, doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looks like they could win the division, and then depending on the first round matchup, they could win the wild card. And depending on how good your defense plays, and maybe you win a divisional, maybe, but that's going to be mostly the defense. I can't see it happening, but the offensive line is just it's trash. I mean, we're talking about guys that are slow and just big and slow. I mean, you talk about Shaq Mason on the play, and they want him to go ahead and seal the edge. And I'm like, that bowling ball ain't gonna do it, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and he ran as fast as he could. He
Yep.
waddled his fat ass all the way over there. It just wasn't fast enough. I'm sorry. He ran as fast as I could have ran. Like, hey, it is what it is right there, man.
Nah, bro, you would have got there.
I would have chipped
His
him.
drop off
I
was
would have
crazy,
broke my
man.
neck and I would have been paralyzed. But I would have, man. I would have been swarming. I would have been paralyzed, but I would have been swarming for sure.
Would have been swarming. Yeah. When I see those, fire D'Amico tweets, I'm like, whoa, are we serious? Right? It just goes to show you, when you have crazy expectations and you don't get what you want, some people are crashing out, which is why you heard old girl go on the radio station and have all those
Cartel.
type of crazy ass comments. Um, No, dude, it pissed us a lot off because we all believe in D'Amico and we know what it was like before him. It was just uh, it was bad. But moving on to the defense, I mean, does the conversation get a little bit better? Yes, you were able to sack him 8 times. Will Levis and Daniil Hunter Streshens, they are coming alive. Didn't have Folo Fantukasi in this game. We did feel that against the run. But right now, I feel like with this defensive line, like Harley said just a couple of minutes ago, I feel like we'll be able to be in, just pretty much a lot of these games because they're terrorizing quarterbacks at the moment.
Yeah, facts. I mean, D'Amico's talked about it all off season and all throughout the season, but like we went out and got Daniil Hunter for a reason, Danico Autry for a reason. Like he understands the way to beat these elite offenses in the playoffs or any game. And Mahomes and Lamar Jackson is to be able to rush with only four, and that way you can just sit back and cover. So, the development of having, we got the stepbrothers right here. My shirt I got Will and Daniil. They're both in the top five in sacks. I think it's 10.5 and 9.5, and Will's missed X amount of games. I mean, that's out. That's out. That's crazy, dude. Like, it's probably one of the best duos. It's got to be up there, like, of all time. I don't know where it ranks, but we'll see how it ends. But yeah, with that, and then on the other end of that too, you got two lockdown corners when healthy, Kamari and Sting. Really, the biggest thing is just our secondary or our safeties right now. But hopefully, we get Harris back. The linebackers are solid. Yeah, it's an elite defense. I mean, if we can just get marginally better offensive line play, which can result in marginally better offensive play, then we have a real shot to beat any team at any time. But that sounds like a big if right now.
And you guys also have to take into the fact that the defense is on the field a lot with the fact that the offense cannot get anything going in quarters 3 and 4, and they're able to still be producing numbers like this, right? If you get the offense going and you're able to give this defense some rest, then who knows how much better they can play. But it's just, man, we've been asking just week in, week out, can this offense wake up? So far, their answer is no. Harley, Will Levis was able to bomb us through the air. Big plays. And that's kind of been our Achilles heel all year. If you go back all the way to week 1, right? Jimmy Ward,
Hmm.
3 big plays on him.
Big plays.
And you see the big play to the tight end and he takes it to the house. I feel like moments like that, yes, we do have an elite defense, but then we know which moments, which areas we are weak at. And, it's like, why is Mr. Jimmy or deep safety in that moment? And, all you got to do is just run by him and it's gone.
I mean, we had this conversation about the safety position, and not just us, just local media, other
Mhm.
content creators, like everyone that was talking Texans within the city of Houston had the same conversation about the depth issue at safety, and people were clamoring for, hey, why don't they go get Justin Simmons? Quandre Diggs was a name out there, and both of those guys were like, they were available for quite some time, even going into training camp. So the Texans decided, no, we're going to stick with what we got. And I never really agreed with it, especially right now. I mean, it's upsetting to hear that Jalen Petrie has the partially torn pec, and I don't have we got any update on that? I don't think there's anyone that's came out with a timetable, correct? Yeah, I don't think so either. I know Seth Payne had mentioned that there was an offensive lineman for the Lions that had a partially torn pec, and he had a bye week. He was off 1 week, bye week, and then played the next game. So
Frank Ragnow, he's also a different breed.
he is a very different breed. But offensive linemen don't use their pec. They use their pec more than a safety would. We'll see. But Jalen Petrie is
Yeah.
also a guy that he's just he plays
brings
with
the
his hair on
boom.
fire. Yeah, and so the safety position was definitely something that I thought the Texans should have addressed more of. Eric Murray, look, Eric Murray is going to be highlighted here, but overall, Eric Murray's a backup. We all know he's a
Yes.
backup. He's not a starter. It kind of feels like the Brandon Dunn conversation many years ago when we let DJ Reader go, and we were like, Bill O'Brien, excuse me, not we. O'Brien was like, "Yeah, we'll just give Brandon Dunn an extension," and then Brandon Dunn, who was a very good backup for you, ended up being a starter, and then it was like, and Brandon Dunn sucks, and it's like, yeah, because they're backups for a reason. Eric Murray's a solid backup for you. He can play good in spot, situations, but as a starter, getting majority of snaps, Kalen Bullock. look, he's a rookie, man. I'm not going to throw too much on him. He's a rookie, so
Yeah,
I
people are
appreciate.
asking for him to be benched.
I mean, look, he's a playmaker. I'll give him that. There's nothing to take away there,
Still
but
learning.
exactly. There's times bad angles, tackling, and the tackling issues are starting to come up a lot more
He
now. That
bites a
was
lot
something.
too.
That's something that came up to his pre-draft tapes. Where
Mhm.
you were talking about Kalen Bullock's inability to tackle. But hey, interceptions,
Mm.
cool, yeah, awesome. We love to see it. I know y'all were talking about coaches. I hate to go way back, but I know
It's all good.
D'Amico Ryans and the San Francisco 49ers and that tree and everything. Look, I already know if he wants to continue pulling off that tree for the 49ers, I would feel like the next guy, and this is just someone that I've kept as a backup way back when I thought Bobby Slowick was going to be the OC. But Brian Fleury is a name that the 49ers currently have. He's the tight ends coach, I want to say right now. But he hasn't left because he wants to stick with Kyle Shanahan. He has I'm sure he has some sort of relationship with D'Amico Ryans. I mean, so Kyle Shanahan speaks extremely highly of him. He's learned under Shanahan for many years. Does he have play coordinator experience, play calling experience? No. Do you want to go through that again? I don't know if you really want to, but if you're going to stick with the 49ers tree, I mean, do you want what? You want Anthony, what's his name? Anthony Lynn?
Just bring Shanahan if he's fired.
Yeah,
That's not happening.
look at their offense this year, man. I mean, like it's like the whole scheme overall is like kind of getting picked apart. I know Green. I guess it just depends, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Green Bay, they having success. You look at
Green
the
Bay,
Bengals,
Minnesota.
Minnesota, cool. Bengals, Joe Burrow's playing his ass off though. There's other teams across the board that I can't
Ellie, I'm
think of
waiting
right
for my
now, but
boy.
the scheme is
Dolphins.
interesting, for sure. But the Pep Hamilton
Yeah, I'm
conversation
good on
is,
Pep Pounds.
I
That's crazy.
I don't know, man. I think we love that he does this little stuff on Channel 2, and that's
Hmm.
cool. I've seen more bums talk really good sports. Oh, we see Dan Orlovsky. I love Dan Orlovsky's takes. I enjoy watching him, whether I agree or disagree. I enjoy his content. Pep Hamilton can draw stuff on a board. Uh,
But I think D'Amico too. Like I've mentioned this before, but like we have to remember like he's a defensive minded head coach,
Hmm.
and we want to like give Bobby 1,000% of the blame. But like, how much of like this conservative shit is from D'Amico? Like this running the ball, into a brick wall every time is like, hey, him is like, hey, don't be, be conservative. We'll win with our defense, field position. Like I think that's part of it too that we forget about. Like that's how he plays. He wants to win with field position. Don't turn the ball over. I'll win with my defense. And like it's just a stressful ass way to play, man.
oh, I agree. I think
Hmm.
D'Amico definitely deserves some blame. Um, he does. He's mentioned that he has some sort of minor say in the offensive game plan. That's where I go, man. How much does anyone else have say in this game plan? Because I mean, it just kind of feels like, okay, guys, here's the keys. Um, here's the 11th car I gave y'all. Don't
Mm.
wreck it again. Like
Yeah.
I need
It's like
someone
it's a
else
way
to
to
speak up
insulate
more.
himself. I don't like that either. Like the 100% delegation. Like, bro,
Yeah.
like you can control hit. Like even like the end of game situation stuff is what pisses me off. Like there were two times this year. I think it was the Bills game. It was the one
Mhm.
time we should have ran out of every time we don't
Yes.
run and we
Yes.
threw it. Like, how was he not in the headset saying, "Hey, run the ball"? It's like you can do that, bro. And then there was another time later in the year where it was like a different situation, and he should have said, "Hey, do this," and he just puts 1,000% trust in him. Like if that was me and like my company or something, like I would do what I could do to control the situation. You don't have to be the micromanager, but you can step in those crucial moments. Yeah, so that frustrates me, man.
Yeah, that is
It's
frustrating.
just the growing pain, boys, of having a young head
Good point.
coach, a young offensive
Yeah.
coordinator, or a young quarterback, and it's like all these guys have to do their own respective growing, and the fact that they're doing that, the fact that you're struggling and you're still first place in your division and an opportunity to get to the
Yeah.
postseason. We just know that if it does click, then it's going to be, something pretty special. But now we are just getting to where, all right, we understand what's going to happen consistently every single week. Your defense is going to have to carry you to victory so far. Lastly, before we go, boys, your thoughts about this game against Jacksonville, right? we all know the confidence is at an all-time low for this Houston Texan offense. You guys mentioned how bad the defense is for the Jaguars. If we can't get anything going, boys, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you next week on this Wednesday.
Might be a wrap. I mean, so I haven't dove that much into it. I'll dive into it on my show after this. I'll kind of like, do all the stats and whatnot. But I mean, just on the surface, like just situational wise, like we just had our worst loss of the year, our worst loss in a couple years to the Titans at home. Like just from that perspective, like we need to bounce back based off that. But now you're playing another 2-8 team, I believe, but they're coming off a bye. But we had a normal rest this week. But this is a team that's like clearly like not trying to win. They're probably
Mm.
positioning for a top pick. If you don't win this game, then yeah, I mean, we should win this game. I think we will. But like you said, if we don't, something's got to shake. But I'm confident we will. I think this is a bounce back game for CJ. I think it's, he can kind of get those stats up, get some confidence, momentum going. So I'm optimistic. And then I haven't really dove into it, but I don't think their pass protection is the best. So they got to face our vaunted D line, which is insane. So, I think defense will be up to their normal tricks, causing turnovers, getting sacks and whatnot. So I'm confident. I mean, I'm not as confident as I should be because of what just happened, but
Yeah.
I think we'll take care of business.
Harley, what about yourself?
Um, yeah, their defense is pretty bad. Is their defensive line good? That's all I need to know. Is their
They're
defensive line good?
not, they're not bad. Walker,
Because
right?
No, they're not bad. Well, that's going to create havoc for us, man.
But they're the edges though, so I mean, it seems to be the interior is the biggest. I mean, the Jets and the Titans games were crazy. Two
That's all they need to
terrible
do.
teams that had good interior versus a terrible
That's all
interior,
they
and
need
that
to
was
do.
it. Our
And my
tackles aren't bad
offensive
though.
we've been
line is
picking
like,
up Suns better. I will say that for this offensive line, and
I mean, come on, man. Look, man, the last time we played the Jaguars, we barely beat them. What's the difference between the Jaguars team last time than this
That's
time?
true.
I mean
We
they're
barely beat
hurt.
them
No,
last time, and we were, oh yeah, we beat the Jaguars. No, yeah, I'm gonna predict W, because I'm a Texans fan, but no, they don't even deserve no 30-point score, nothing like that. Like I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if they reached 30. I would be shocked. I really would. Uh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know their offensive line isn't good. Yeah, that's one big thing. Their offensive line isn't very good. So, uh, 5 interception game. Well, we lost. We
We've
did
had
lose
some
to a five
devastating
interception
losses, man.
game.
mm,
So it's
losses that don't
unfortunate.
make any sense.
Making
Eight
history in the
eight
wrong kind of
sacks
way.
and an L.
And
8 sacks, pick six, and an L. Like,
And then that Green Bay game was a +3 turnover game too. That was
yes, it was the +3 turnover. I don't know, man. I'm sick and tired of it. I really am. This is a frustrating team. Every single week we have the same conversation. Every single week, nothing's getting better, and it just feels like it's getting worse. And it just definitely looks like we're in a slippery slope with this team. And I hate to be that bearer of bad news. I really don't.
yeah,
I don't want to fall into what the Jags fell into last year, where they just had a fall. And I don't want the Texans to get into that fall either. So I don't think it happens. I'm going to predict the W, man. I'll go ahead and do a score prediction. We'll go 23-20.
oh my god,
Oh, big time. Big time. They're going to scare the shit out of you, man. And
Hey,
guess
we
what?
played down to our competition. I wouldn't be
Exactly.
surprised.
20 of them points will come in the first half. You'll get 3 in the second half.
dude! If that
Congratulations.
happens and if Slowick survives after the bye week, then we're gonna have to do another march down there in NRG, bro. Because
You
there's
can be a
no,
part of that again.
bro, there's no way like we're that oblivious, we're that naive to what's been going on, right? And it's
23-20, man.
like, dude, if so the offense all year, boys, in quarters 3 and 4, they're averaging 6 points,
Mm,
6.1 points, 6 games this year
Not
without a
wrong.
touchdown in the second half.
so bad.
You are bad. That's the narrative, D'Amico Ryans, right? If you want to know a narrative, right? If you don't know where the narrative is coming from, it's coming from us here. It's
From
coming from
facts, from
Ruben
stats.
Tressens and Harley. The second half offense is atrocious. What did Cat Williams say? If 20 people are calling you a crackhead, then you are smoking crack. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see you next weekend. We're gonna recap whatever the hell when happened against the Jacksonville Jaguars because 23 to 20 was Harley's final score. Stressens is predicting the dub. I'm gonna predict the dub also. I'm gonna go 24 to 17. Right. I still feel like it's gonna be a close game, but not as close as Harley predicts. We'll see you all next week, guys. Real quick, Harley, where can they find you?
Y'all can find me at the lead underscore HOU, man. The lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. I try to give you all the best stuff. Astros, Rockets, Texans. I try to do as much content as I can. We're on the road to 12K. Almost at 11,000 subs. So again, appreciate every single one of y'all, man. If y'all are watching, drop a swarm in the chat. I know it's been pretty negative from me. But at the end of the day, when Friday comes around and I drop a darn score prediction, I'm gonna get hyped. I'm gonna get loud. I'm gonna get excited because that's my team and that's who I rock with. Plus, yeah, I'm a little down right now, but as soon as this is over and tomorrow happens, man, I'm gonna be excited as fuck because
What's
goddamn
your favorite dish?
Thanksgiving, man. It's a fat ass Super Bowl over here, man. It's a fat ass Super Bowl tomorrow, baby.
Favorite
Hell
dessert?
yeah. What's up?
Favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Oh, it's gotta be pecan pie, man.
Oh,
Gotta
mine
give
is
me
the
a pecan
banana
pie.
cream pie.
Ooh, ain't nothing wrong with that
Pecan
either.
pie is how I say it, but yes, I agree, Harley.
Pecan pie.
Pecan, tomato,
I don't know.
tomato.
What did I say?
I'm making the macaroni tomorrow, so I'm so
No, watch
excited
out.
so excited for that.
It's gonna be like THC laced or what?
Nah, not this one. I've been thinking about doing that, bro, and just seeing how the family reacts and tweaks out. But you go to jail if that happens. If someone, fortunately gets too high, right? They start
Love me
tripping
some
out and
banana
stuff
pudding.
like that.
AD says, yeah, banana pudding's good. I mean, but
Banana
it's
pudding
yeah.
is good, dude. I love
What's the plate?
ham.
What's the
The
plate?
ham.
Make the plate right now. Both of y'all. Make y'all's plate.
Okay, let's go. Let's go 2 slices of ham.
Okay.
Let's
Solid
go 2
start.
slices of turkey.
Okay.
Spoonful mashed potatoes, spoonful green beans, spoonful macaroni, and in the middle, my cornbread.
Respect.
That's pretty damn good. I mean,
That's a
I agree. You
respectable
you have
plate.
to get you have to get the ham and the turkey, and then the stuffing, obviously, and the gravy. I usually get a green bean casserole. I eat a squash casserole. It's pretty damn good.
What about a corn casserole?
Ain't nothing wrong with a little
From
corn
time to time,
casserole.
yeah. But
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, I basically do what you said. I get enough of your.
I can't hear what the fuck he's saying.
I don't know. I lost
I
out on it.
I need to hear.
I think they died. Oh, here we go.
Actually, I have a question, man. What's y'all's rules on drinking during Thanksgiving? Like,
I'm back.
is it balls to the walls? We're getting slaughtered, or is it casual drinking?
It's more casual for me, man.
Okay.
It's more
You start
casual
out
for me.
casual,
Like,
and
I'm
then
not.
you can kind of coast, like,
Yeah.
as the night kind of
Yeah, for
weans.
sure. Depending on
Okay.
how the night's going,
Yeah.
But most of the time it's kind of casual because shit, man, I'm full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then right around 8:30, when you ain't get dessert and you're kind of looking at that damn food, you're going, huh, motherfucker, why you looking at me like that?
Oh, you start eating the leftovers that night?
Shit, man,
Oh, for
you're
sure.
a little
Second
tired. You
straight.
got that alcohol in you,
I remember
Watching
I had
football
it,
all
dude. I
day.
had like half a ham for like a week, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah, so turkey, mashed potatoes, gotta have dressing.
No
Um,
stuffing. What are you talking about, AD? Sorry.
no stuff. Oh, okay, it's dressing, no stuff. Yeah, he's not wrong. It's dressing. If you're stuffing the turkey. If you're dressing, because you got it on the side as a plate. Anyway, yeah, dressing, mashed potatoes. Gotta have giblet gravy because I make giblet gravy. I make everything. So,
Ooh.
I'm gonna make some mac and cheese as well because my girl says she wants some mac and cheese this year. I ain't got no problem with it. I got green beans. I got my smoked turkey wings to boil for my green
Greens,
beans.
beans, tomatoes,
Mm.
potatoes.
Oh hell yeah, man! We're going hard over here, man. We're going hard.
You name
Fuck yeah.
You're
it.
going hard. I'm hard just hearing that, bro. Stressings, what is your Thanksgiving plate?
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, I cut out in the middle of it, but I'm kind of along your lines. You get a couple, you get the solid protein, you get, a good amount of ham, a good amount of turkey with the dressing. I'll call it dressing. I mean,
Hey,
stuffing, dressing,
ET.
whatever. gravy. Get green beans,
Mm,
green bean
mm.
casserole, squash casserole. You get mashed potatoes. You get mac and cheese.
Oh, I
And then
forgot the
obviously you get the
greens.
yeah,
God.
man. And then you get the pecan pie, man. Like at least a couple pieces of that. So I mean, yeah. And then you get at least a
Shoo.
couple left. Like you obviously overload it. Maybe 30 minutes after, go back and get some seconds. Maybe a couple hours later, go get like another third leftover. So
You
yeah,
Now
get the
man.
you
roll.
smoking before you eat or not?
What's that?
Nah, I
You
don't smoke
you
on the
smoking
air.
before you eat or not?
I ain't smoking no
Man,
more.
I don't smoke anymore, but when I did, yeah.
That honey glazed
Yeah,
ham is gonna
okay.
taste a little bit, different. When you're off the zon.
A little honey blaze.
But
You get the roll. You cut the roll in half.
right,
You spread the mashed potatoes. You
okay,
throw a good little slice of that dressing on there.
okay,
You get your turkey. You put
okay.
your turkey on there. You cover it in gravy. I'm not a cranberry sauce guy. No
No, no,
sauce.
no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
not
no.
a but you
That
put the
shit
you
is
put the
nasty.
gravy over. You make your little sandwich. Oof.
How long in the
That's
microwave?
ooh. Oh, you talking leftovers? Man, I'm talking fresh, man. Shit.
Okay, okay.
But hell, leftovers? I don't know. Shit, I don't know. The microwaves are weird, man. It's depending on what microwave you got. You got them
Mm.
cheapies. Shit, that shit could be in there for 4 minutes.
This is the best content we
Ah,
had the whole show. We could talk about this shit all
For real.
day.
This
all
this
right.
Everyone's like,
We're gonna
damn.
go ahead and see y'all next week. Happy
20-minute
Thanksgiving.
conversation on Thanksgiving.
Y'all
Hey,
have a
real
blessed one.
real
We're all
quick, if y'all
family
haven't,
here.
check out my site, the directory I released. It's got all of us on there. If anybody wants to be on it, or if you're just a fan looking for content creators, it's got all the stuff on there. So, but
All
happy
right,
Thanksgiving, man. We appreciate all you guys.